The Origins of Life, Chi Creation, Part 26. So, refreshing where we were, like all the cymatics and the right hemisphere of the brain, the female attributes and all these kind of things. And the obvious aspect of species in it to life. So, water and the sunlight. So, like before, when we were doing like murmuration, we've got one for bees.
Have you ever wondered why bees make those rippling wave movements on their hive? It's not just for show, it's their wave defensive system. When a predator, like a wasp, gets too close, honeybees send a visual warning by performing synchronized movements. Each bee raises its abdomen and flutters its wings in perfect rhythm, creating a ripple effect across the hive. This wave confuses and intimidates predators, making them think the hive is one massive, moving organism. Have you ever wondered why bees make those rippling wave movements on their hive?
Right, so I did wonder, do I see it happen like this, like all the time, or is it only when there's like a wasp that arrives, and gives reason for them to go into a panic mode or whatever? Because it's similar to the murmuration, like starlings. So when we're seeing it with bees, it could be that same reason for why starlings do it. You know what I mean? It's part of the nature. So again, maybe it is only when they feel threatened and stuff like. It's just that whenever I see bees threatened, they seem to be like flying around and they get hostile. You know what I mean? So you know, let the experts decide. You know what I mean? In that kind of sense, like the people which are already invested in that research and stuff like. But what I'm seeing, for one thing, you can see like the love art shapes, which I'll go back to the beginning actually. Yeah, you see like the love art shape. You see it there. It seems to do like spirals. Sometimes they form together, and you can see like the love art shape. So without even separate, because like it's two of them together, and when they're on their own, it's just that one spiral, and it's like a Fibonacci golden ratio curl. So you're seeing the wave, but two of them doubling together, and that's making the art shape and stuff like. But but the repetition of waves, it's just like, all the life that we've looked at is the wave repeated, all the information is repeated over and over again in different ways and stuff. Like it's done it for your fingers, it's the teeth of a wave, so then it's done for your teeth as well, etc., your ribs and so on. So the personality of the ocean, it comes out. So we're seeing waves upon waves in that kind of sense. Another way of looking at it is seeing the cymatics. So like the previous photo, it's like, the movement of it. It looks that speed, you know what I mean? How the light travels through the water. So quite often it's usually two things, or at least two things. What it uses, you know what I mean? It gets that key, you know what I mean? It uses a two matching up pieces of information which fit together, and then it'll use it. So we're seeing that's what that key is, you know what I mean? The Fibonacci curl, for one, and then the cymatic patterns, like mixing them together. Because if you think about the speed of that, we don't see waves. Maybe small waves can be kind of fast in that kind of sense, or you know, I mean, it depends because there's so many different variations of waves. But generally, in terms of like, a normal wave or a normal size wave, it takes, maybe a minute or several minutes, and, well, this is like split seconds or a second or so. So, it does fit with the cymatics, but it can also fit with waves. Like I said, it is both. But, so having the roll of a wave, and all the information which is in that, that's where I left off, wasn't it? So the roll of a wave, all the water churns, gets caught in the middle. There's like nowhere to go. It's up in your trees. That's like come out up wave, all the water spraying out. I can't zoom in. But the individual, each one is like the water shooting out of the wave, and then all of them together are like that as well. So the same with the bees, all of them clustered together are working together like the ocean. You know what I mean? It's like, that like the insect's eye lens. You know what I mean? It's got like loads of lenses for its eye, so it's like replicating the ocean in that kind of sense. So when all the bees get together, they're able to do that murmuration. But as that comes out of the ocean, that information, I mean, how that's being used, how it's important, because that's like, that is creation. So now we're into this left brain, and so like we've got all our other ocean, and we see in a sense of like it being an ocean. It's just a different type of ocean. It's like, the ocean, as it's moved on from the land and it's come upon, it's moved out. It's not moved out of the ocean, but it's spread itself upon the land, and this is how it's expressed itself. So with the ocean, you got like that spirit of nature, but then when you come to the left brain side of it, it's more like the realm of nature. So like the spiritual connection that is founded upon, the spirit of nature with the ocean, and how that is full of water. You know what I mean? So the expression of it all. Is spiritual. So like underneath trees, and it's like looking up, and you see the surface at water, which is kind of created with the leaves. They're like the peaks and troughs. So the sunlight kind of catches through, and depending on the angle of the peaks and troughs. But you get them kind of patterns in ocean when the sun's shining through. It's less sun on that one, so I wanted to include it in that sense. It's less obvious, you know what I mean? It doesn't look as oceany as like that one, say, but it's still there, you know what I mean? It's a different time of day, different angle of sun. So then we get a cymatic patterns repeated again, and waves, because it's the roll of a wave and connecting to the other rolls connecting. Oops. So again, more cymatic light patterns and wave patterns. But this is like that male aspect of the brain. It's how nature has kind of like applied its knowledge to create stuff. You know what I mean? In terms of like all the male aspects of it. You know, like the strength, the building of things, and like you know, that left brain masculine aspect is going to be the doer, the provider, etc. You know what I mean? So in terms of like the ocean built what it could, so it could provide. You know what I mean? And that's what the trees do, don't they? They provide, don't they, with fruit and shelter and so on and stuff. So here we can see like the rolls of a wave. They're quite chunky in comparison to the roots. So you know, you can see how they're much more like the cymatic patterns, and considering the positions of them, like the rolls are on the top of the surface of the water. You know, I mean, cymatic patterns are at the bottom like that. Although we do often turn it upside down when we're looking at plants and stuff. It depends, because like the water can pull. We saw it on the wall at Wave, all the sand were being pulled up and it looked like trees. So, you know, that's not reversed. But nature has a good way of doing using the information in both ways, or taking the information in two ways, you know, using that reflected information sometimes. So, you know, like we've discussed before about the forest like almost being upside down in terms of it representing the ocean and stuff. So we've got fungus. So you got your cymatic patterns, or your waves, and your connecting waves. But it also looks like a time lapse of water when it's rushing into the shore, like over rocks and all those kind of things. Cymatic patterns again with roots. And so you've got that jagged edge to them, you know, like veins and blood vessels, etc. It might be a fungus, that one. But still, you're getting these cymatic patterns and stuff. I mean, that's almost similar to like your turtle patterns, your sea turtle. A lot of the cymatic patterns would do take a lot of different shapes, and you know, depending on water's surface and all that kind of thing. Oh, I think that's what I'm going to say. So yeah, if that were upside down, it'd put the waves underwater, which would make it kind of off. But what we're going to say, if it were upside down, then the cymatic patterns, they start on the surface of the water anyway. So, you know, I mean, that can make sense either way. It doesn't really matter where it is in a sense. But, you know, it's still more relevant on the ground. But there's a lot of plants which kind of like seem to be upside down rather than... I can't remember what point that is now, where we're upside down. And so, more cymatic patterns. It's more of that fungus. Oyster mushroom is what it's from. So like your time lapse of your water. It's all like that. And it comes in lines. If the water remembers it, it remembers the entire journey, you know, so it can remember specific parts, you know what I mean? If it's, you know, there's a key point which it can, you know, like the roll of a wave itself and stuff, it can relate back to the torus field, so then, you know, it's like, oh, we've got a match, things will work, so we can keep that information, or use that information. So, like we see the cymatics at the bottom of the ocean, we see it's everywhere, isn't it? It's wherever the sun shines. So as it travels across the ocean, it's keeping it all illuminated. All those cymatics, they explore everywhere, yet without any plant life. And just the cymatics themselves will explore the entire realm in that kind of way. So, in the first series, when I spoke about like the development of a realm and how the plants explored everything, just like in a plant plot, and so you know that's what the realm used to be like in a sense, you know, the exploration of the plants and the giant trees. So you know all that kind of amassed formed land masses and all these kind of things. So, looking at the forest like an ocean, comparatively, they're a bit like jellyfish. Um, I mean, comparatively, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like good to have that eye to like see the ocean or the forest in that oceanic kind of way and stuff like, you know, to train how to see it or whatever and stuff. You got some sort of fungus stuff, slime mold, and like trees, you know. Also like the water going out and it crashes on shore, so it's like got that splash side to it and stuff like that. So and again, waves. We're going the wrong way, you know what I mean? We should be going that way, but if nature does flip the information around how it wants to use it, you know. A sweet tooth, mushroom, fungus, sorry. They also look like coral. So, like, you know, that relationship between fungus and coral, I mean, they'll look similar, related anyway. It's like, you know, this is like the land version in it and stuff like that. So, again, like appropriating that jungle to the ocean kind of side of things. So, again, like coral. They also look a bit like teeth. Apart from they've got spiky bits, but like the shape of that one more so. That one more looks like coral. Or some pieces of coral. I'm nearly out of minutes again, so I'll have to finish on this picture. But it's like everything we mentioned about what we've got from the ocean and what, you know, as emotions, as everything in what makes us. So like everything here in forest, all of that comes from ocean as well. And so there's a lot of potential for what that's got that we don't even realize. Like one of the aspects of like plants being conscious. The plant's got a torus field, like everything does. So then that says that it is conscious. So it ain't got the apparatus to like actually speak, or I mean, it ain't got that ability. But in terms of its like psychic ability, it doesn't really need the physical stuff for it to be able to speak. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's got its own consciousness. So if you walk past planets, they can probably read everything about your emotions. You know what I mean? Probably know everybody that goes past the planet. You know what I mean? Walks past and stuff. It's like when you think about it, and how they're connected to the cymatic network through the roots, which that'll be connected to ocean, because like it is that network. It's just more of a physical version of it. Then they're connected to the brain network, the brain heart of the forest and the ocean. So if the ocean's in communication with the sun, then plants probably are as well. We've got leaves, so we've got photosynthesis. You've got all the left brain kind of science to go with it, but there's also the right brain science as well. So, like in the terms of like the trade-off, when we look at animals and we say that, oh well, that animal's bigger, so the trade-off of a small animal is that it can get through smaller holes to escape better. You know what I mean? So that's why prey is generally smaller, or I mean, whatever things have got. Like a tiger compared to a bird. You know what I mean? A bird can fly away or whatever and stuff like. So the trade-off with plants, they haven't got hands like us. They haven't got mouths and all these kind of things, but they've probably got that psychic connection, which is like so much more powerful than we can even imagine potentially. I'm out of time, so I'll catch you next time. Thank you.